After Crawford beat up Canelo at the airport, things didn't go well for him. Afterward, he was put in handcuffs. The confrontation, which escalated quickly, led to Crawford being detained by airport security.
All the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won.
Reports say that after a short fight, police came and arrested the undisputed welterweight champion.
Yo, Turk, tell him we going for Canelo next.
Yes! Let's go! Canelo, come on!
The fact that he was arrested did not mean that things would get worse for him. He was put in custody, but was luckily released shortly thereafter following his release. Hearn, a British boxing manager, says that Terence Crawford still only seems to be thinking about one thing: fighting Canelo Alvarez. At this point in his career, Crawford only wants to fight one of the biggest stars in boxing, Canelo. But Crawford, already an undisputed champion in two divisions, super lightweight and welterweight, recently joined the super welterweight scene with a bang. In his first fight in the division, he beat the tough Israel Madrimov to win the WBA title. With this win, he became a big player in the super welterweight division and took one step toward becoming a boxing legend. However, despite his historic successes and his current chase of a third undisputed title in the super welterweight division, Crawford's eyes seem to be set on something else. A big fight with Canelo Alvarez. Hearn thinks that Crawford is more interested in money and in the tradition that would come with unifying the super welterweight class.
Canelo, Johnny Boy Boxing Fight Hype. I just want to ask you, what do you think about Terence Crawford? What do we think about Terence Crawford's performance, and do you want to get a fight with him?
If the money is right, I mean...
$100 million? I heard Turkey offered you a big money already.
150.
150?
Terence Crawford has the unique chance to make boxing history by becoming the first fighter in the four-belt era to unify three divisions. His victory over Israel Madrimov won him the WBA title in the super welterweight division, and now the WBO has ordered their champion, Sebastian Fandora, who also holds the WBC title, to defend against Crawford.
We get the rematch, but not in this moment. Now I need to maximize the most money for the fighter. And I believe he deserves it.
Is that Errol Spence Jr.?
That's correct.
Over Crawford? Like, does Spence more money? Or?
No, Crawford will not sell out 90,000 people in Dallas. I can tell you that much.
But Crawford
a fight against Fandora would bring Crawford one step closer to becoming a three-division undisputed king. It's a historic feat that very few boxers have even come close to achieving. Yet despite the prestige that would come with such an accomplishment, Crawford seems to have moved his focus to a different prize. Canelo Alvarez. Hearn, the influential matchroom promoter, has been candid about what he thinks is driving Crawford's recent moves. Crawford's motivations are no longer centered around building a lasting boxing legacy. Instead, Hearn believes Crawford is more concerned with securing big money fights that will allow him to retire comfortably. I don't think Terence Crawford will fight again unless it's against Canelo Alvarez. Hearn told TalkSport he's made solid money in his last few fights, and I don't think he's interested in facing Vergil Ortiz or Yaron Butsanis. He's only looking for big paydays now, and that means Canelo. Hearn's perspective reflects a broader issue within the boxing world: fighters, especially those who have already achieved significant success, becoming more selective in the later stages of their careers. Crawford, now 36 years old, has already cemented his place in boxing history, and according to Hearn, he's looking for the most lucrative chances available before hanging up his gloves. Crawford's career earnings have skyrocketed in recent years, especially after his high-profile victories over Errol Spence Jr. and his recent bout with Madrimov. These massive paydays have definitely changed his outlook on his future fights. As Hearn pointed out, Crawford has grown accustomed to making substantial sums for his appearances in the ring, and it's unlikely that he would take a pay cut to fight lesser-known names like Vergil Ortiz or Yaron Ennis. Hearn said he's used to that pay range now, and the only way to keep those figures coming is a fight with Canelo Alvarez. I don't see him rushing to fight anyone else, especially not young competitors. This reality puts Crawford in a unique situation. While he has the chance to make history by unifying the super welterweight division, he's in no hurry to fight just anyone. Instead, he seems content to bide his time waiting for the perfect chance to make an enormous payday, something only a fight with Canelo Alvarez could provide. Interestingly, a Crawford-Canelo fight almost materialized earlier this year when Saudi Arabian boxing chief Turki Usyk showed interest in hosting the mega event. Usyk even went as far as to include the matchup at the top of his boxing wish list. However, after a breakdown in communication, Usyk publicly withdrew his offer and released a long statement accusing Canelo of ducking both David Benavidez and Crawford. The statement sure did leave some sheiks in the sport and put a brief halt to any talks about a potential bout between Crawford and Canelo. However, it seems that the bridges between the two teams have been mended and the fight is once again a possibility. The only problem is timing. Canelo Alvarez has his own plan for now. After the fight with Berlanga, he said that he will be taking a break to enjoy time with his family or enjoy his money before getting back to the ring for Crawford. This means waiting in the wings, while he could explore other options, such as a fight with Sebastian Fandora or young rising stars like Virgil Ortiz or Yaron Ennis. He seems eager to wait for Canelo. According to Hearn, Crawford's attitude is clear. He's not interested in any fight that doesn't promise a massive payout.
Was supposed to fight
Terence Crawford,
for the WBO title, and now that he's fighting Spence, it's gonna get stripped from him.
Right.
So
Eddie Hearn has been vocal about his doubts regarding Crawford's future in the sport. I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't fight again. Hearn said he's made so much money already, and after that tough fight with Madrimov he might not want to risk it all again. Hearn's comments reflect the cautious attitude many elite fighters take as they near the end of their careers. With millions in the bank and a potential mega fight with Canelo on the horizon, Crawford is in no rush to face lesser-known contenders. Instead, he's waiting for the right chance to come along, and that opportunity is Canelo Alvarez. Hearn continued, I think he probably looks at the Israel-Madrimov fight and goes blim me, not that he got away with it but he could have lost it all there. He's thinking more carefully now, and he's not going to rush back into the ring unless it's for a huge payday. For now, it appears Terence Crawford is happy to play the waiting game. He's not interested in a quick return to the ring, and according to Hearn, it's unlikely that fans will see him fight again before the end of the year. Instead, Crawford will buy his time, staying in shape but waiting for the perfect chance, a fight with Canelo Alvarez. Crawford's long-term strategy is clear. He's going for the biggest payday possible, and that means targeting the sport's biggest star. Whether or not the fight materializes remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. Crawford is determined to make it happen while waiting for Canelo to make his move. Crawford might find another goal that may soon come to fruition, and that is Fandora.
Goals, in boxing, he's a legend right now in the sport, and one of the top fighters. So, I like to get in the ring with him too. It'd be a great fight. He's before that Terence Crawford fight, he was considered one of the best fighters in the world. Let's do it. Whatever they give me, Earl Spence is a great opportunity. I think it's a match made in heaven.
Originally, Fandora was in discussions for a fight with Errol Spence Jr., the very man Crawford defeated to solidify his status as the undisputed welterweight champion. However, Fandora's recent victory over Tim Chu, which saw him claim both the WBO and WBC titles, has redirected his focus. His plans to fight Spence may now face a major hurdle, as the WBO has ordered him to begin negotiations with Crawford within the next 30 days. This has put Fandora in an enviable position. If he does not reach an agreement with Crawford soon, the WBO has threatened to call for a purse bid. With the very real risk that Fandora could lose his WBO belt, the WBO's directive is clear: any refusal from Fandora to go ahead with the Crawford fight, unless both parties agree otherwise, will result in the forfeiture of Fandora. This quick turn of events has left Fandora with a tough choice: proceed with his plan to fight Spence, risking the loss of his WBO title, or pivot toward the fight with Crawford and embrace the possibility of a massive unification clash. Fandora, who has previously voiced a strong desire to face Spence, now faces uncertainty about his next steps. The beauty of facing a champion like Crawford, one of the most accomplished fighters of this generation, offers both a challenge and a chance. But for Fandora, the stakes are high. One wrong move could cost him not just a fight but also a title that he's worked hard to win. For Crawford, The WBO's ruling brings him one step closer to a bout that could further cement his legacy after taking the WBA belt from Madrimov. In his super welterweight start, a unification fight with Fandora could lead Crawford closer to an unprecedented achievement, becoming a three-weight, undisputed champion. Crawford has already won the super lightweight and welterweight divisions, and now with the WBO stepping in, his road to further greatness may unfold even faster than expected. But there's an interesting detail here. After Terence Crawford's win over Israel Madrimov at 150 pounds, many have started to wonder how his skills would translate at an even higher weight. Madrimov, a formidable opponent, tested Crawford's skills in their super welterweight bout, and while Crawford emerged victorious, it raised questions about his potential to jump up to additional weight classes to fight at 168 pounds against Canelo Alvarez. Crawford himself seems open to the idea, but not without some concerns. Speaking to DAZN Chris Manx after his win, Crawford made it clear that his decision would rest on one key factor: money. "You know what I say," Crawford told Manx, "if the money's right, we got in a fight." With those words, he left the door wide open to a possible clash with Canelo. However, even with his confidence, the reality of moving up from 150 pounds to 168 pounds is a monumental job, and Crawford knows it. He continued, "Alvarez got a fight that he's focused on. I'm going to go back to my family. I'm going to relax. I'm going to enjoy this win. Enjoy all the achievements that I made in the sport of boxing." At this stage of his career, Crawford has already cemented his place in boxing history as a multi-division world winner. He has conquered every task thrown his way. However, facing Canelo at 168 pounds would be something entirely different, a challenge of both size and skill that could test the very limits of his ability. While Crawford stays optimistic, he's aware that going up in weight isn't just about skill. It's about how power and durability translate across divisions. Madrimov, while a skilled and tough opponent at 150 pounds, doesn't compare to the monsters waiting for Crawford at super middleweight. Canelo Alvarez, who is naturally big and has spent years fighting at the weight, has shown that he can take punishment from much larger fighters and still dominate. For Crawford, going into the ring with someone like Canelo means facing a man who has already proven his mettle at higher weights and has the knockout power to back it up. Crawford himself is no stranger to overcoming obstacles. He has risen through the ranks, defeating champions in multiple weight classes, but 168 pounds is a leap into uncharted territory for Bud as he thought more about the possible fight with Canelo. Crawford didn't seem daunted by the challenge. "Not at all, because I'm pretty sure Madrimov could fight at 168. Crawford said this guy is big in the minors. He fought at a higher weight than he is now, and he was very competitive." Crawford's point about Madrimov's size is true. Madrimov is no small fighter, and Crawford handled him well, but there's a world of difference between an opponent like Madrimov and a seasoned elite fighter like Canelo. Madrimov may have competed at higher weights in the amateurs, but Canelo has been dominant as super middleweight and even moved up to light heavyweight to win a title. Gap could be substantial, making Crawford's possible jump to 168 pounds a massive gamble. The real question is whether Crawford's skills, his timing, his ring IQ, and his power can hold up against bigger and stronger opponents. While Crawford has carried his strength up to 150 pounds, 168, which is a totally different beast. Fighters like Canelo, who have been honing their skill at that weight class for years, are used to the speed and force that comes with bigger bodies. They've built their style around dealing with other big fighters, and this is where Crawford's task becomes even more daunting. Can he continue to outthink and outbox opponents when he's giving up major size and power advantages? If Crawford does decide to go ahead with the fight, he'll be fighting not just the best super middleweight in the world but also one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the sport. Canelo has beaten the likes of Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev and Caleb Plant, fighters with size, power and experience at heavier weights, and while Crawford's skills are clearly world-class, his ability to take punches from a true super middleweight like Canelo could be the deciding factor in the fight. Alexander Usyk, the undisputed heavyweight champion from Ukraine, recently weighed in on the chance of Terence Crawford stepping up to fight Canelo Alvarez, despite widespread doubts about Crawford's ability to bulk up and handle the power and size of Alvarez. Usyk offers a different viewpoint. The Ukrainian sees something in Crawford that many might be missing: his exceptional skill set and adaptability in the ring. In Usyk's eyes, Crawford's versatility, IQ, and ability to box effectively could cause real problems for Canelo. In a recent interview, Usyk expressed faith in Crawford's chances. He boldly predicted that Crawford could emerge victorious against the Mexican superstar. "I say Terence is a different man. Terence works on two sides, on the right and the left." Usyk noted the heavyweight champion's belief in Crawford stems from the American's ambidextrous fighting style, his ability to switch between orthodox and southpaw stances, and his fluidity in the ring. Usyk, who has built a career on his own adaptability and skill, sees a similar quality in Crawford. Usyk emphasized another part of Crawford's game that could give him an edge: his control of distance. He feels that distance Terence can box like a big guy. Usyk added that this is high praise coming from a fighter like Usyk, who has risen from cruiserweight to become one of the top heavyweights in the world by using his brains, footwork, and control of space. If Usyk thinks Crawford can box like a big guy, it suggests that he sees the potential for Crawford's style to neutralize some of the physical advantages that Canelo would bring to the table. Usyk's belief in Crawford's skills may come as a surprise to those who view the potential size disparity as too great to overcome. Crawford has never fought above 154 pounds, and moving up to 168 pounds to face a seasoned and powerful super middleweight like Canelo is no small feat. However, Usyk's opinion is based in his understanding of the sweet science. He knows that size isn't everything in boxing and that skill, timing, and planning often win fights. In contrast, many other voices in the boxing world think that it would be a massive risk for Crawford to pack on extra weight and try to compete with a fighter as strong and physically imposing as Canelo. After all, Canelo has fought and won against much larger opponents at both super middleweight and light heavyweight, showing that his power and strength can carry up into higher divisions. However, Usyk stays undeterred. His prediction aligns with the idea that Crawford's boxing IQ combined with his ability to adjust and adapt could possibly disrupt Canelo's rhythm and give him problems in the ring. As things stand, the boxing world is on edge, waiting to see whether a fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez will come to fruition. With Canelo's win against Edgar Berlanga and Crawford biding his time, it might take a few more months before serious negotiations begin. However, if the stars align, fans could be treated to one of the most highly anticipated matchups in recent history for Crawford to fight against. Canelo isn't just about money, it's about solidifying his legacy as one of the greatest fighters of all time. If he can secure the fight and pull off the victory, it would undoubtedly be the crowning achievement of an already illustrious career. But until then, all Crawford can do is wait. Well, what do you think? Do you think Crawford takes down Canelo, or is he being far too ambitious? Share your thoughts below and don't forget to like and subscribe to the station for more updates. See you in the next one.